Hello and welcome back. It's tower time. Since there has been progress in both investigations, shall we share the findings from our respective locales? Oh, there's Sunian.
Your time in Thavner has certainly been eventful. In my opinion, carrying out Vitra's request and assaulting the Tower of Zot should be our highest priority.
I agree. While I still have questions concerning the Forum and their grand undertaking, we have all but exhausted our avenues of investigation. Simply pressing them any harder on the subject will almost certainly result in our expulsion. Therefore, I suggest we explore the ethereal sea connection by way of a letter to Master Matoya, then make our way to Thavner.
I wonder, even with the protection these talismans afford us, what can we hope to achieve once inside the tower? According to Orenvold and Frodola's report, they were unable to free the Emolja. Worse, their attempts triggered the tower's defenses, which led to a summoning of Luna Ifrit.
What does it tell us that the Spires even have such defenses? Simply pulling a prisoner from the wall is fatal. Thus, the direct approach is doomed to failure from the outset. Any further measures to dissuade such actions seem unnecessary. Unless, of course, there is a way to free the prisoners without killing them. Then it stands to reason that any intruders will be met with overwhelming force.
The towers appeared throughout the world in but the twinkling of an eye. 'Twas by magical means these structures were raised, I surmise. A spire thus conjured must needs be maintained. And I suspect an arcane catalyst, some manner of core, doth lie hidden within. Destroy the core, and the tower ceaseth to be, thus liberating the captives without harm.
So we can hope. And I would prefer to enter the tower with a working theory than with no plan at all.
Assuming Ishtola's reasoning is correct, the chances of the defenses remaining dormant are small to none. Any primals will have to be dealt with, and defeating one will likely only lead to the summoning of another. Our every victory will only compound the prisoner's suffering.
May we not then divide our forces? Those proficient in healing will focus on sustaining the captives. That duty can be covered by Urianger, Kryl, Yostela, and myself. The remaining Scions will proceed with the search for the core. Admittedly, this strategy puts both parties at greater risk, but it should bolster our chances of saving the Arcosodra by a considerable margin. If you're to fight primals, then you'd best have at least one healer with you.
And I am more than happy to fulfill that role. I found wielding a sage's armament to be rather intuitive, and look forward to testing them against a more challenging foe.
It seems we have a plan. All that remains is to carry it out. I will inform Rads at Han of our movements, so let us make our preparations and regroup near the tower.
A military post in what's left of the Hamsa hatchery should serve as a convenient staging.
That sounds perfect. And remember, the experimental aetheryte at the confluence is there for those who need it, so there's no excuse for being late.
Okay, just making sure that I pressed record. I completely forgot. If that tells you anything about how I'm doing right now. We did teleport to the Great Work, right? Yep. Oh, I've almost completed everything in the post game for. Well, I've completed the main post game stuff for Dragon Quest Dark Prince. Though what I was told about what the post game was wrong. So at least I had at least a bit of a surprise. But thereafter, it was fairly not that hard. I didn't even have to use my backup team. Again, I stored I don't know how many items from the very beginning, considering I've only used items in like 2 fights before the end. And that was before the end. Post game, and that was the final fight. And it's raining again. Our friend of yours, we've been expecting you. You and yours will lead the mission into the tower, I'm told. Warning skills will be delivered soon. Till then, please stand by at the boat we have readied. When your fellows arrive, I will direct them to join you. We pray for your safety and success. I also don't have my timer going right now. I decided best not to have it going. Is this the future of Aetheryte travel? I think I'll stick to boats. I know warning, however empathetic, could have prepared me for that. On account of which we are a little late, but fighting fit mostly. My friends, permit me to thank you for accepting this mission. You must be, we should call you, Varsana, I suppose. Indeed, I would not do to confuse our soldiers. Very well, then. For our part, we are humbled that you should see fit to entrust us with your warding skills. Please convey as much to His Excellency. One for each of you, please accept them with my blessings. Our thanks with these, we can go anywhere through those with the blessing of light can go. Not only for this operation either, but all the others to come, we can finally break your monopoly on primals. So have we, my friends, so have we. If everyone is amenable to it, let us review the strategy for good measure. As previously agreed, we will divide into 2 groups. Edgar and his band will break through the tower's defenses and locate its core. Meanwhile, the rest of us will tend to the prisoners who will doubtlessly want for healing due to the duress of repeated summonings. The primal which the tower bringeth forth shall be deities of Fafnirian myth. As we have no prior experience with such foes, pray exercise the utmost caution when confronting them. We commence the operation at your word, my friend. For the people of Fafnir, nay, the entire world, we must prevail. Okay. Yeah. It's like, what are we going to take? Yeah, that seems about right. Since we got... No, we have magic DPS. I forgot to change my portrait, didn't I? Oh, Edgar's going to have to deal with the portrait like this until... whenever we remember. So that does remind us. Just so many spells being casted. I don't know what that does. I guess that we can read it. Grant. Now charging all enemies in nearby. 100 and... Kinda looks like they grew from the face things on the wall. So I guess it would be less summoning and more growing primals. Turning them into their fate, to their god. Rather than just summoning them. Yeah, there's the first boss. I have only ever done the first mission for the Sage. I need to get it done eventually these days. It'll probably be a while before I do it. Ooh, that was close. Yeah. Okay, so it's fire that goes around, and then it's bio that goes. This was tank. Thunder is X pattern. Hi there, Pandora. Pandora's up and about. Right now, she's next to me, staring at me. Now she's in front of me. course, Pandora's going in the window. I knew I forgot something. Pandora distracted me from what I was going to do. I was going to get that set up in between the fights, but I got distracted. There we go. Did the audio change suddenly? Okay, just checking my connection. Feels like I've missed a chest. I don't know why. Alright, forgot again. Oh, I don't remember what game it was I was playing recently that had like moves and stuff like this from this. But it makes me kind of it makes me wish that there was a little bit of fluff dialogue. Like you channel darkness into your sight, unleashing a damage, rather than you deal a damage in like a cone or an area around you, or at least something. Like it just says it bestows the ability to use Harvest Moon. But probably would just add more needless time to development. But at least it would have been nice. Oh no, we didn't miss a chest. I didn't hear that as opening, I heard that as an explosion. What is the gear here anyway? 520, so accessories we don't need. Main gear we'll pick up, because I think we're only 515 for main gear, yeah. Apart from that, I was hoping to get this through before... Actually, now that I think about it, I think this is the first time I've ever seen doing this with Alizé and Alphino in the probably the same time doing this. Because if I remember correctly, last time I did this, I mean the first time I did this, I brought Justinian. And when I was doing this with Trusts, I always had different people going in depending on their level. Didn't just stop Edgar, stop the voice as well. Well, that's been lucky that's been behind us both times. Trousers offending. We need what? Maiming? Yeah, we need maiming. Hopefully we don't get a sight for our reward. That would not be fun. Let's see what we get. Unfortunate. I don't know how many times I've seen a duplicate in the same dungeon, but it's feels like it's about like 5% of the dungeons I see that. And it's usually always accessories. Let's see what we get for this one. It feels like someone's just disapproving of Edgar's choice. Of becoming a Reaper. So he could help Hildebrand. And I guess I would be less happy if it was an accessory for maiming. Considering that we already have full accessories for maiming already at level that we need it to be. I believe there's one more set of combat. Yep. I'm honestly surprised that the armored weapon lasted this long. Normally, usually the armor weapon dies before even a Colossus does. When I'm doing this.
I have you now.
She brought a tiny scythe. Because I feel that she would probably need a bigger scythe. Just a tad bigger. Something. Oh, I was going to show how Edgar's. Yep, and then it's going to start with LSA, probably doing the, Oh, she'll do it when it gets full. In fact, I've only ever seen a... The only time I've ever seen a level 3 limit break in Final Fantasy has been Reaper. I have never seen another. I haven't seen another one. And that was the time when Edgar does it. I have not seen another one apart from when Edgar has done it. I saw we got earrings. At least it wasn't a scythe. I'm pretty sure this thing could have jumped up here by the time it took us to climb. I got a codex. Yep, All we got was some earrings of slang.
Is everyone all right?
We fortified the captives with what magics we could. Have the defenses been disabled? All appears quiet for the moment.
The lower floors were disturbing enough, but this place feels wrong. The ether is heavy and thick, like wading through a quagmire.
I believe we stand in the tower's beating heart. What sayest thou, Stola?
I see it. Ether siphoned from the land runs up through the spire, flowing to a single point. This is the core we seek. Yet something is off. As large as this structure is, it siphons far more ether than is required to sustain it. 'Tis as if the core is feeding on the energy, consuming it. I need to take a closer look. Curious. There is something there embedded inside the core. A man's limb.
This is what we came to destroy?
Yes, if you would be so kind.
And that should be the end of it.
What now?
My theory that the tower might come crashing down following the core's destruction doth appear to be correct.
Oh, did you think of a solution, Oriange?
And how are we supposed to survive the fall?
What of the prisoners below?
The floor beneath our very feet dissolves. Brace yourselves!
I pray I'm not too late.
Travels back in time. Just before we enter the tower. Think of a plan to make us sure we don't fall to our death. I feel like there would have been more of them in the tower.
Oh, what happened? Where are we?
By my reckoning, we're still on the island where the tower stood. But 'tis as if it never existed. Hardly a scratch. But how?
Graha down!
Graha wove a levitation spell at the last moment. Large enough to catch everyone, it would seem.
That explains the lack of obvious injuries.
Should we have Alize working right about now?
The expenditure of so much ether has taken its toll. He will need plenty of rest, but should otherwise be none the worse for wear.
when the immediate problem is what to do with our new friends here. They'll be much changed for their time in the tower. Even if their bodies are intact, I doubt we could say the same for their minds.
Angelo and I will take care of that.
I have every faith in you, Alize, but there are just too many for you to treat alone.
That's why Y'shtola's here.
We'll send at once to Eorzea for more Porksies, and call on the local mages to lend a hand.
Hail, Scions! We were watching the tower when it simply disappeared. What happened here?
The threat is banished, and thy people delivered. They are, however, in need of treatment, and we of a secure locale and helping hands to assist us in its provision.
You shall have all this and more. Come, let us convey these unfortunate souls to the city.
Wait, wouldn't that also mean that the talisman should also be somewhere around here? Hopefully no one fell on the pointy end of it. The liberated prisoners are being transported to Rosathan for treatment. Alize and Y'shtola will oversee the administration of the tempering treatment with support from those who know a healing spell or two. We'll go and join them in the city once you've had a moment to catch your breath. I guess we should update our portrait even though we didn't get anything. Had enough rest, have you? You never were one for being idle. Right, where Shahan bade us come to Megaduta at our earliest convenience. The others will join us once they have finished tending to the prisoners. Oh wait, on second thought, you and Hussein should go on ahead. I need to make a quick detour by the Great Work. We left Graha in the alchemist's care, you see. Best to fetch him before he's crammed into a specimen jar. Just you and me then. The guardsmen at the gate should wave us through. Oh, at least we got a level from it, and plenty of guild. Yeah. That does remind me, though, that, I will be, in the future, not like after I'm done with this, obviously, and probably, maybe next year or later this year, I'll be doing more Final Fantasy, the other Final Fantasy games. At least the ones that are on Steam. I already bought myself one of the other ones, because I've only ever played 15 to completion. I have 10 and 9, and I've played 13, but I've never completed any of them. I mean, finished any of them. Honor Scions, you are free to enter at your leisure. As I cannot leave my post, I'm afraid you make your own way. Should you require directions to the city, the sentry stationed at the fountain atop the steps would be glad to assist you. Though I have been at Rosathan before, this place is a veritable maze. Rather than risk getting lost, we had best ask for directions from this sentry at the fountain. Lead the way, and don't expect me to act as your tour guide like certain others. Don't worry, we'll get lost regardless. Yes, I'm going to go to each of these aetheryte shards and attune while we're here. Because if I don't do it now, I'll forget later. Master Edgar, I understand you are here for an audience with the Satrap. If you require directions to Megaduta, I should be glad to provide them. So resides situated in Doharama. That is part of Rasahan. To get there, I would ordinarily recommend a route that takes you by the bazaar and then the city's north, but due to the state of the art, however, most businesses are currently closed and the aetheryte disabled. As such, I will provide you with an alternate route. First, please ascend the stairs next to the fountain and then continue left. There will be more steps, and upon ascending them, you will emerge on Pascus Path. Proceed through the large doors on the right, and you will arrive at Rovada Fibers. And then you will find another sentry who will give you further guidance. In other words, we head up. Straight, sounds straightforward enough. Yes, we head up. First, I want to head this way. I may not be able to attune to the aetheryte, but we can get to the shards at least. Yes, like I said, I will forget to attune to these if we don't attune to them now. That only leaves one side left here. Which is over here. The High Crucible. Surprised to see no one down here. Now I need to go back to here. Ah, yes, I know about this portal. It leads to a nearby isle, the treasure vault of one of Han's wealthiest families. They took the god of luck for their guardian, on account of which they occasionally open up a section of their vaults for aspiring treasure hunters to try their own luck, or so they say. There are also coffers hidden across the land that act as portals. Find one and you gain access to the vault. Something to bear in mind in case you exhaust your funds while on the road. It is a troublesome experience, as I can personally attest. Yes, but you need to be a gatherer to find those. And you also need to have friends. Or people who are willing to do them with you. I, for one, on the Discord, on my free company's Discord, they do one every weekend. I think it was weekend, or it might be Friday. I don't remember. Heading to Megaduta, are you? In that case, please follow this hallway to my right and go through the door at the top of the stairs. You'll emerge at the entrance of the airship landing, where another sentry should be able to be on hand to assist you. Instantly, if you ascend to the steps on either side of me, you'll find workshops of red fibers. Though you are free to observe the artisans, take care not to lose your way. Thapnarian weave. Hard to imagine more vibrant stuff. I dare say Emmerich would be partial to the gold thread and the blue, of course. He loves his blue. I never put enough thought into what I wear. A spare set of clothing is usually all I carry, and if that isn't enough, I can always obtain something locally. I always like the color red. I usually wear red, blacks, and blues. And white, of course, occasionally. Well, that one's much more of a rare color that I wear. I normally just wear black, red, and blue. But mostly what I own is black. Well, that's more because my parents always had me dressed in black growing up. And I don't feel comfortable anything other than in jeans for the most part. I do have one pair of slacks, and that's it. Everything else I wear is jeans. And my one pair, I think they're called slacks. I don't know what they're actually called, but I just call them my comfy pants. Because they're very comfortable, despite that my hair sticks to them. At first it was kind of painful to wear them because my hair would always get stuck to the, my leg hair would always get stuck to them. But now my hair doesn't get stuck to it as much. I don't know why, but that kind of makes me, kind of looks like Arabic to me up there. Or whatever that language is called. Or the script, I should say. If you are here for an airship, I'm afraid all flights have been suspended until further notice. So the save alert is still in effect, perhaps is for the best. That aside, we're not here for an airship, we have business at Megaduta. In that case, permit me to direct you. From here, it's quite simple, really. Ascend these steps and then continue straight ahead, and across the bridge, you cannot miss it. Yeah, at least now we have all the all but one Aetheryte shard attuned to. So when we can attune to the Aetheryte, we'll get that attuned to. I remember passing through here with Varshan, the situation being as it was, he regretted not being able to show us the sights. Life has yet to return to normal here, but when it does, you ought to pay another visit. Though the city is confusing, the food is quite good. I'm partial to Hamsa myself. The meat's surprisingly tender and flavorful. This one's just staring at us. Yep. Greetings and welcome to Megaduta. May I inquire about your business? We are members of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, come at the invitation of His Excellency. Of course, we have been expecting you. I will show you into the audience chamber if you would please follow me. And I believe this is voice, so I can just lean back a little and relax. Wait a minute, where did Simeon go? He was right with me. Oh, there he is.
Are we the last to arrive? I hope we've not kept you waiting.
Not at all. Your comrade is feeling better, I trust.
Much better, thank you. Harness remedies are certainly potent, in more ways than one.
One becomes accustomed to the taste, although I hope you never have cause to do so. Pray, take your ease.
Full glad I am to see you all unharmed.
Valiant scions, for your heroism, you have my boundless gratitude. You cast down that dire tower and set free its hapless captives. You cleanse their souls of its corrupting influence. No words of thanks will suffice. In place of platitudes, I offer a bounty of warding scales. Pray accept your due reward, along with the goodwill of Radzat-Han.
Alchemists throughout the land were put to work in the forging of your talismans. The finished ones have been collected, and now await you at the High Crucible of Alchemia. Present this letter when you are ready to take them into your possession.
We are humbled by your generosity. Know that the inventive wisdom of Radzat-Han will be vital in restoring serenity to our star.
Every single one of those scales came from you, didn't they? You must still be in such pain.
'Tis of no moment. A mere annoyance compared to the dreadful suffering inflicted upon this land and its people.
Albeit brief, my involvement in the Dragonsong War afforded me a glimpse of the myriad sorrows which consumed both dragon and man. Though you were half a world away, such tragedies as befell your kin must have affected you deeply. And yet, you chose to live among men.
In the age when that conflict first bloomed, my choice had already been made. In some distant place, man slew dragon, and dragon slaughtered man. Yet no hate could I muster for those smiling faces which did look to me for guidance. Not even my brother's righteous rage could rally me to his cause. I huddled here, secret and still, hoping against hope that which I had built would remain untouched by the chaos and carnage.
Twould seem we share the same desire for peace, great Vritra. To that end, I wonder if we might trouble you with another question. The Telophoroi are intent on recreating the final days, an apocalyptic event which we know to predate the sundering of the star. As the longest lived among us, know you aught of this terrible cataclysm?
Nay. When war and strife drove my sire from his home, he crossed the great expanse with only our unhatched eggs as company. He alighted upon a shattered source, its 13 reflections long since scattered beyond the rift. Of events preceding his arrival, he knoweth naught, save that which Hydralin hath deigned to disclose.
I think the dragons came during the 3rd or 2nd era? I think.
I see. So again, 'tis the inscrutable Hydralin to whom you must look for answers.
Seek you to divine the will of this star? If so, I have a tale which may afford you some small comfort. 'Tis a story from my youth, many, many years ago. To my sire, I once posed the question, of all the stars in the sky, why didst thou settle upon this one? To which Midgardsummer did reply, 'twas the last bastion of hope. He believed so long as Hydralin endured, so too might dragonkind. Solemn and portentous were his words. What deeper meaning they held, I could not, dared not pursue. 'Tis a stone I've left unturned ever since. Yet take you solace in the knowledge that whatsoever Hydralin does strive towards, 'tis an ideal which hath earned my sire's conviction.
Thank you, Vritra. You've given us warm reassurance in a world gripped by cold uncertainty.
While I'm sure we all have a great many questions, I think it's time we collect the talismans and be on our way. Our fight against the Telophoroi is far from finished.
We must take our leave, but please do inform us if we can provide any further assistance.
Prithee, a moment. There is one whom my sire hath judged most worthy of honor and respect. The one known to men as Eorzea's champion. This hero of renown and rumor, 'tis thee. In accordance with the covenant he forged with Levelin, the stewardship of this star hath ever been his purpose. Silence in the face of thine actions is the greatest sign of his approval. 'Twas a revelation most pleasing that thou, a child of man, had gained Midgardsormr's trust. But alongside mine elation runneth a rivulet of dread. For upon thy life's reel wind too many threads of fate, power, weal enmeshed with woe. Amidst this tangled knot thou shalt know no rest. 'Tis an endless confluence of forces, a struggle without surcease. More terrible still is the attrition wrought upon thy companions, as they are swept up in the storm of thine existence.
Kind of feels like the slideshow's a bit random. I feel like he should have been second in that reel.
Take heart and protect them well. They will be your strength and your salvation.
Rather second.
The hope thou wilt need come the end.
Rather the second or the first.
Even cowering behind my curtain, I know the suffering of the powerful. I have watched my siblings driven mad by loss. Thus do I exhort thee to spare no effort to keep thy loved ones safe.
Apologies. We hadn't meant to interrupt.
It's just that we do have a history of suddenly collapsing, and when you didn't follow us out...
'Tis I who must apologize. I have detained your champion overlong with idle chatter. Go. At war's end, I pray I welcome thee back into my hall, where together with thy joyful comrades, you may toast your triumph.
So what were you and Vitra talking about? Nothing. Very well, if you say so. The others have gone ahead to the High Crucible. Let's catch up to them. Evil! The first lieutenant was kind enough to give me directions to the High Crucible. First, let us return to the Mulberry Orchard. We actually have to follow them. I think it's the first time I've seen this place on a cloudy day. Well, cloudy day during the day, I should say. I've been here during a storm at night, but that's basically been it. From here, we're supposed to follow the path left and past the mulberries. Oh, they're in the shape of an elephant. I was like, it's weird looking lamps, but yeah, there's just an elephant at the top, holding the lamp with by its trunk. Where the street turns, enter the door straight ahead, then descend the steps. I thought the Crystorium was confusing, but it doesn't compare to Rezat Han. The architecture and decorations make it even harder to get your bearings. Anyway, let's see where this door takes us. And here is the Aetheryte Plaza. So far so good, there isn't much further to go. From here, we just need to cross to the other side of the hall, then pass through the larger of the two doorways. The High Crucible lies beyond. I expect the others have already collected the warding scales. Come, let us join them. There's Urianger and Thunker just over here. Though this land has been afforded a respite and turmoil, do many others languish still. Our work is far from finished. You took your time, got turned around, I take it. You're last, of course, but at least we found the place.
These are the talismans we were promised.
Yes, and I made a quick count. There are far more than we could have hoped for. Enough to outfit an entire company of soldiers, in fact. Considering the involved process, that they were able to manufacture so many in such a short span of time is nothing short of a miracle.
Once we have distributed them to our allies in Eorzea and the Far East, we'll have a fighting chance to bring down the other spires, just as we did with the Tower of Zot.
Or we could use them to invade Garlemald proper, and strike directly at the Telophoroid's base of operations. Of course, we would need to consult with various Alliance leaders before such a drastic measure could even be contemplated. To which end, I could set out forthwith and present the idea to each of our allies in person.
Pray allow me to undertake some few of those journeys. I find myself restless and in need of purposeful duties.
I can head eastward. Bosnia and Dalmasca are just a short hop from here. And Doma's shinobi network should come in handy for passing on the word.
We shall share the burden then. Meanwhile, I think it best that you and the others take the talismans back to the Baldessian Annex. We must keep them safe and secure until we've decided upon a course of action.
Please, I must speak with you.
I know she's tempered, take her down!
Nidana, you're awake.
Yes. When I spoke with the carer at my bedside, she told me that one of the scions, a young woman, had cleansed me of the tower's corruption. It seems I'd been asleep ever since the treatment. But when I awoke and learned you were all still here, I knew I had to come.
As you said, Nidana was captured only recently. Such a brief exposure is swiftly cured, so I tended to her before we gathered at Megaduta.
And I am truly grateful that you did. I cannot thank you enough. All of you, for everything you've done. Destroying the tower, rescuing our people. You've saved Havnir from an awful fate.
Yet who hath truly saved whom? Due in no small part to thine inspirational courage, the alchemists were successful in reproducing warding scales of proven efficacy. Replications of thy work now stand ready to travel across the seas, unto the hands of those who might wield them against this rising evil.
The talisman? Is this true?
The main ingredient of them all was
I'm
chocolate.
so groggy from sleep. I didn't even think to ask. Oh, our great work sent across the seas. It was worth it. Oh, it was all worth it.
Okay. Flower glowing too brightly.
Look at that. Its color is completely changed.
What do you have there?
It's a mood flower.
How unusual. I wonder if the effect is a reaction to Akasha.
I'm afraid I'm not familiar with that term.
Akasha? It is one of the unseen energies defined by Harnish alchemical theory. Though a gross oversimplification, some describe it as an essence influenced by feelings.
You imply that it is distinct from ether?
Foreign scholars often conflate the two, but we see them as separate concepts. Ether is an energy which permeates the land. It exists within animals, objects, even the air we breathe, affecting all through which it flows. Akasha, on the other hand, exists in a domain beyond our reach. A gift bestowed from on high, or torn from the heavens in some traditions. Akasha can neither be created nor destroyed. It is beyond our power to purposefully alter or manipulate. The only thing observed to influence it is an abundance of, I want to say, spiritual emotion. As a veteran of the battlefield, surely you've experienced moments of desperation or exaltation when you've transcended the usual limits of your capabilities. That is a manifestation of Akasha, the invisible essence harnessed by heart, mind, and unyielding spirit.
I really must hear more about this theory. Our disciplines are based entirely upon the idea that ether is the fundamental form of all energy.
I'm glad my haphazard explanation has piqued your interest. But even for us, Akasha is a somewhat abstract field of study. A lack of practical application lends itself poorly to formalized research. Which is why my analysis of your flower can amount to little more than idle speculation. I am sorry.
Nonsense! You have nothing to be sorry for. Your insight is much appreciated.
Shall we depart for Charlian then? I will see to it that the talismans arrive at the Annex.
And we will be in touch once our talks are concluded. I suggest you rest while you can. From here onward, sleep is bound to be in short supply.
Okay, now we can teleport away. Yeah. Ah! They appeared and then disappeared immediately. Kinda sucks that Rodsedhan doesn't have an inn or anything. I feel like it could really benefit from one. You know, since there's a it's where you can get your tombstone stuff. It's good to be back and with the fruits of our labors safely in storage. For now, we have but to wait for the others to return from their respective meetings with the Alliance leaders. As Angrid suggested, you should get some rest in the meantime. Welcome back, Edgar. Krall has appraised me of your recent accomplishments. What an amazing feat to eliminate a tower and pave the way to deal with the rest. Well, it isn't much. I've changed your sheets, plumped up your pillow. After all, there's nothing like collapsing into a nice clean bed after completing a major milestone. But it pending a thesis or defending deiform entities. So, would you like to take a look at your new and improved lodging now? Here's some concentrated evil in the form of bread. It just explodes suddenly. Ah, the emotions are too great. I can't handle it.
Take heart and protect them well.
Good, you're here. You haven't eaten yet, have you?
Edgar forgets to eat
We've
most
bought
of the
quite a
time.
spread if you're interested. Only the finest dining from the last stand.
I should probably put the controller down so I don't accidentally skip anything. I guess you don't like pickles.
Lest you wonder, we invited Estinian as well. But he refused with a rather grim-faced, "No, thank you." I suspect Charlian cuisine is not to his liking.
Oh, I don't know about that. Perhaps our lone wolf just needed some time apart.
What? To perfect his brooding stare? Next time, I'll drag him out by the ear, sit him down in front of a Charlian feast, and see that he eats every last bite.
An excellent idea. Of all people, warriors must take proper meals and rest if they are to maintain a healthy constitution.
Poor Estinian. beset on all sides.
Where did we get the extra chair anyway? There's normally only 4 chairs in here.
Speaking of one's physical condition, Mistress Kryl, I hear you recently played literal host to Heidelin herself.
And what an experience that was. Tiring, yes, but no lasting harm done. If anything, I should have liked to speak with her longer. I've not felt a hint of her presence since.
Heidelin instructed you to carry that flower, yes? Twill be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. And then something about seeking joy in darkness, was it? Come to think of it, isn't that what happened with Nidana back in Radzat-Han?
The flower did seem to radiate a joyful glow, as if reflecting the elation we all felt, the relief of a people with renewed hope.
Indeed, and in turn, I felt buoyed by that radiance. 'Twas akin to spotting a beacon and knowing we were on the right path. I know we've not yet triumphed over the Telophoroi, or learned the full breadth of the Forum's plans. But even within the midst of our struggles, we find small moments of joy to sustain us. Rare and hard-won perhaps, but it is this pursuit of happiness that gives us the strength to carry on day after day. Hey, that's mine.
To the swift the spoils. Though I recall that levitation spell of yours was quick enough.
Only barely. And even at my best, I'm still too slow to wield it effectively in battle. Mayhap I simply require more practice with this new magic.
You unearthed it from the depths of Numenon, I presume?
Aye, and from a veritable mountain of arcane tomes at that. 'Twas necessary to facilitate my solitary explorations.
Oh, they got macaroons.
To put it simply, you used it to sneak around the Forbidden Archives.
Yes, well, after a fashion.
Oh, we got 2 chocolate chips over here.
They're tall, you see. The shelves, they're too tall for me. And I could hardly move the library's platforms without attracting attention now, could I?
The only one that doesn't have that problem is Edgar. Let's see, a cookie, a donut, and a muffin. I would love if suddenly Edgar just turns back, he just looks at the moon again, and it has a face. It's coming for you.
One last cup of tea, then. Dickon said this brew helps relax the mind before bed. And gave us some leaves for free.
We didn't get meanwhile, and I had a very funny one. At least I think it's funny. I mean, not funny, a good one.
Ah! Enjoying the bracing cold, I see. Do you not own a warm coat or a cloak? Something in fur? Or fashioned from the skins of your enemies? Or... well, never mind that. I come to you once more as the bearer of bad news. Our tower in Thavner has been toppled, and I need not tell you by whom. Given how many we have at our disposal, the loss of a single spire is hardly fatal to our plans. It does, however, slow the rate at which we siphon ether. If they continue to preoccupy themselves with the towers, then all will be well. But should our foe prove bold enough to strike at us here, then the timing becomes questionable.
Our foe is bold enough. Of that, I can assure you.
Yes, very well then. I suppose I must prepare a proper welcome. Honestly, talk of your nemesis is the only thing you seem to enjoy. Does nothing else spark your interest?
No. All else is... equal. Equally tedious. Equally disappointing. The world is a tepid bog into which we sink, too weak to thrash as the mud clings to our eyes and fills our throats till we blissfully choke. But then came the light, blinding and pure and hot, so very hot, enough to set my soul aflame.
How is it that it's night there and in Charlie at the same time?
I basked in the afterglow until the void yawned once more. And then I knew the muck would never claim me again. There was naught for me ahead, so I drew the curtain on all that had come before. Burn. Burn. Let the whole star burn. I will have my contest. I will reclaim my moment.
How wonderful that the emptiness of death has not dissuaded you from committing your life to its pursuit once more. I don't know whether to envy you or pity you.
You question my disinterest, but what of yours? Despite your noisome antics, I sense you take little pleasure in this endeavor.
Mercy, my lord. Such pointed barbs from one who barely acknowledges my existence. Nevertheless, you are mistaken. For I do find this part somewhat enjoyable. You see, when I was mortal, I would always have the same dream. It was a fragmented thing, disjointed, all the faces incomplete. The setting, too, was unknown to me. So I thought it simply a fantasy of my sleeping mind. Until one day, I realized it was showing me the truth. Much as your dream of the final days enlightened you. And soon, very soon, the rest of the world will see the truth of my dream, too. Yes, I think that is something we can both enjoy.
I see a square in the middle of that moon. I don't know why. Oh, before we call it, we got one last place to go. First off, let's mend our gear. On behalf of the Sister Guy, Edgar, I thank you for your support. I'm pleased to inform you that we have made great strides in our efforts to rebuild the Enclave. Owing to your many contribution, the Enclave Dements has seen further development. As you continue to contribute to Sakai and the construction effort, in what other ways might the Dome and Enclave grow and change? On behalf of the Chosen Kai, Edgar, I thank you for your support. I am pleased to inform you that we have made great strides in our efforts to rebuild the Enclave. Owing to your many contributions, the Enclave Demis has been seeing further development. As you continue to contribute to the Sakai and the reconstruction effort, in which other ways might Dome and Enclave grow and change? Once again, allow me to thank you for your continued contributions. Issei tells me that everything we need for rice production is now ready. The crops are growing remarkably well. If all goes according to plan, we can expect a decent harvest in a few moons. Are you interested to see the progress AS has made with the paddy fields? Perhaps you should stop for a chat with him. Yeah, we barely squeaked by this time. Honestly, I don't know if we're going to be able to complete this before the end. Hopefully they have like some type of shutters or something that goes over that for during the rain, at least on the sides. We have all the essentials for rice production. There is even a water wheel for milling once it has been harvested. Most of the more difficult tasks have been taken care of. So all we need to do now is keep the fields free of weeds and scatter fresh soil from time to time. Some of the children came to help and were here until a few moments ago. I wonder where they're run off to. Hello everyone, Matsubu brought food. Come on, let's eat. It was meant to be a surprise for you, but nothing gets past these younglings. Thanks to them, my grand entrance is ruined, but I may as well say my piece. Can I interest any of you hard-working farmers in a meat-filled rice ball? As for you, Edgar, you may not be a farmer, but I say you deserve one too. I know you've invested an awful lot into making a success of this place. Anyway, what brings you all the way here, Edgar? Have you come to visit us? You're helping with the Enclave? Wow, you're the best. Since we've got back here, the Doman Adventurers Guild has been busier than ever. There are all sorts of things to take care of. We need new members just to keep up. It looks like you got some catching up to do. Why not talk about it over some good old-fashioned Doman grub? But you're all covered in muck, so don't forget to wash your hands first. Last one to clean is a rotten leg. Rotten leg! Your legs will be rotten! Good evening to you all. Kazukura. To what do we owe the pleasure? Actually, I was hoping to speak with Edgar concerning the reconstruction effort. The Shiskaya has reached a decision on our next project. We wish to rebuild Rasichuku, a school for local children or anyone with a mind to learn. I would like you and all to meet the tutor. You mean Miss Minazuki will be the teacher? That's great news. Guess what? We went to Revenant's Toll and had all kinds of adventures. You mean to say that you are already acquainted? Yes, her husband was our master of lessons. They used to teach us when we lived here before. When we were taking breaks from training, she would give us snacks and tell us old stories. What a wonderful coincidence. I am happy to see you reunited at long last. I pray that you would return safely. Words cannot express how worried we were after you and your families fled to seek refuge in Eorzea. But those dark days are behind us now. Kazukura tells me you have formed the Doman Adventurers Guild and performed all manner of good deeds during your time in Wardona. In fact, I hear you have been helping people here in the Enclave too. Well, if you can find time between guilds assignments, please, perhaps we can resume your lessons. Yes, we'd love to. The school can be our new headquarters. Come on, let's take a look. As it's just a crater. You must be the hero whose name is on everybody's lips. It is an honor to finally meet you. As you heard, the Master of Lessons, to whom the children refer, was indeed my husband. After his death during Lord Kian's rebellion, the guardians kept an eye on me, fearing my teachings might spark an uprising. Now, with the Empire gone and our countrymen repatriated, I hope we can reclaim some semblance of normality. An old woman I may be, but I am not blind to the events of the outside world. I have heard the tales of your bravery. Were it not for you and your friends, Doma would still be under Imperial rule and this place in ruins. Indeed, it is now a thriving community, and I am sure the best is yet to come. And Dora fell down. At the completion of the Enclave Demons, the Surkai initiated an ambitious plan to revive an important place of learning, Risuchuku, a school for those with a thirst for knowledge. Huh. I'm surprised we didn't get an achievement. One of the Doma Bio achievements. I think we didn't get one. Nope, we only got that last one for the main story. Just making sure that we didn't get another one. Nope. Well, with that, we'll call it an episode. I'll see you all in the next.